Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Malibu. It's a beautiful day for a drive today, and we've got the 2016 Mini Cooper four-door hardtop John Cooper Works. I asked them for two extremes. So last time I had the pretty much the slowest Mini you could buy, the Clubman with the little engine. This is one of the faster ones. This one has 228 horsepower, 236 pounds of torque from its turbocharged four-cylinder engine. That's with the John Cooper Works tuning package. I asked them for a stick, but as it turns out, they sent me an automatic. This one has the 6-speed automatic. I think it's the same gearbox as the Clubman I drove recently, but as I will demonstrate, it does actually shift quite a bit better, more aggressively and quicker. This one has the optional John Cooper Works steering wheel with the nice paddles in it. It has very supportive seats, but they're kind of strange on the bottom. They're a little like lumpy with the adjustable thigh bolster. It takes some getting used to. It also has pretty much all the goodies on it. This thing is $38,000 with the carbon package. If it was me, you could whack $3,500 off the top of this thing just by not having the carbon stuff on it, including these stripes that go across the sunroof inexplicably. I'm not really sure who thought that was a good idea, as well as the front hood scoop, which is carbon fiber, but it's fake. So we could pretty much get rid of that. It's also got nav, automatic everything, and this one has the adaptive dampers, which the last one didn't have, and are functional. So what I'm gonna do is we'll go into sport mode. It says "Let's motor hard" across the screen, and we'll start this off in sport automatic setting, and then after a little bit I'll switch to manual so I can show you what both do. We're gonna go traction control off because as is normal with these cars, it's pretty invasive in the Minis, and here we go. So we're in the sportiest possible setting, which you can customize each setting. So this one is max performance suspension, max performance throttle response, max performance gearbox setting. 17-inch wheels on this guy with some Hankook Optimo tires, which frankly I'm not thrilled about. I don't love these tires. It's hunting a little bit for the right gear, but as we drive, I imagine it will come into its own as it adjusts to how we're going. This thing weighs 2,900 pounds, still fairly light. And the materials in here are pretty solid feeling, especially on the steering wheel, the shifter. The stuff you touch the most is nice. If you really start to hunt around, you can find some plastics, but it's pretty good. These tires are they're run flats, and as usual with Mini, you can make a big change by just changing the tires out. Oh, these tires, they don't have the grip that a car like this really should have, especially considering this is the full John Cooper Works package. It's got that aero kit on it, which I'm not really a fan of. I think if you get this car in fairly basic trim with the good steering wheel and all the performance goodies, and you save all the money that you would have spent on the extra aesthetic stuff for good tires, a nice lightweight set of wheels, maybe an exhaust. This car used to burble a lot off coming down off compression, and it does not do that anymore, which I miss, frankly. So auto, it's not keeping the power band where I want it. Oh, and we've caught a car, so I'm going to pause when I have a safe space here, and make a little bit of a gap, and then I can show you manual mode. But following this 4Runner is just not gonna cut it for me. We'll switch to manual just by tugging either paddle. It is smaller, obviously, than the Clubman. It's a 4-seater not a 5-seater. And this is the spot where we pull off for a second. This engine has a pretty wide torque band. Peak torque is from 2,000 to 4,800. So it does have good power, but when you consider how much money you're spending, it has slightly more than Fiesta ST power for Focus RS money, if you want to make that kind of comparison. Get down. And when you hit red line, it stays. That's nice. I don't like engines that automatically shift up when you hit red line. This one stays right there. In the coming out of the hairpins, it's struggling to find grip. I'll repeat myself again. Better tires. Needs better tires. The brakes aren't super impressive. They get the job done, but that's about it. We'll see how they hold up towards the end of this drive. Oh, and we've caught someone again. Not my day. Oh, we've caught the same guy. We could have sworn he would have turned off by now. It didn't take very long to catch him. All right, hang on. We'll wait again. All right, here we go. As far as space goes, at least in the front, this is still a great car for big guys. If I move the seat all the way back, I actually can't reach the pedals. So I have the seat, even at 6'3", kind of right in the middle. The steering feel is pretty good. It's weighted fairly heavy considering the size and weight of this car. You run out of grip at the front, but if you manage it properly, you can still give it a good flick and it'll stays really flat and cornering with the suspension set to sport. If you put the suspension in comfort, it's better than other Minis I've driven, except the Clubman, which rode really well. It's still pretty stiff, but it's not what I would call spine crushing the way previous Minis have been. This road is extremely tight and technical, and I was hoping it would be complementary to the Mini, although maybe too much for it. At least if the front tires do go, they go predictably. You're not just going to sail off a cliff. Brake pedal is getting a little bit warm. Seats are doing a good job of holding in. I really can just steer with my fingertips. But with all the hairpins on this road, there's a lot of shuffle steering going on. On the highway, it's really easy to go really fast in this thing, actually. I've looked down at the speedometer quite a few times, and comfortable speed was somewhere around 90. And when I had my Mini back in the day, I got more tickets driving that car than any other car I've ever owned. And I imagine you could expect, similar results with this one. Even with traction control off, it doesn't really blow the tires off coming out of the corner. A little unsettled under braking there. Again, good tires could fix a lot of this, and that's the first place I'd go. I'm surprised that with the John Cooper Works package, it comes with such meh tires. And, unlike those old supercharged engines, which had a little less power than this, but such a nice character, this engine isn't full of character. That could be because it doesn't have the pops and cracks that like the 2012 and 13 Mini did. It seems like it's a functional engine, not an inspiring one. see I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit just for giggles. Let's go back. We're going to go back to middle suspension setting. See if it smooths out the road, how it affects the handling. It's definitely smoothed out some of the bumps. See if there's a little more body roll in this corner here. A little bit. It may actually improve the handling in some of these roads as the tires don't bounce around as much on the imperfections. Confirm that. I'll go back to sport. Very technical section here. Heavy back and forths. But this is what the Mini should be good at, right? Loads of tire squeal. But it shifts quick. The upshifts are very crisp and direct. The downshifts are pretty crisp too. I mean, for a torque converter auto, it does a pretty good job, but you have to drop down below 4,000 RPM before it'll let you downshift. Yeah, I think in middle suspension setting, I would customize my sport mode to leave it in middle suspension setting, as on roads like this, which are kind of bumpy, it actually does a better job of keeping the chassis planted while allowing the suspension to work a little better. I'll slow down a little bit because this is a neighborhood and I want to be a good neighbor where I can. I don't know what the actual difference is between this automatic gearbox and the one in the Clubman, but the shift response of it is much better. It's probably the engine and the tune, frankly, more so than the gearbox itself. Okay, how's our brake situation? I'm getting some fade from the pads, but they are working hard. This road is mostly downhill into hairpins, and so I wouldn't be surprised if on a racetrack the manual is actually the auto is a little quicker than the manual, although you've got about a 75-pound weight penalty for the auto. Uh-oh, work area. I didn't anticipate that. All right, let's see. Oh, they actually are working, and they're cyclists. Okay. Take it easy for a second. You can't really fit anyone behind me. So despite the 4 doors, if you're over like 6 feet tall, you're still not getting someone back there. Whereas in the Clubman, you can. Also, the Clubman does have a bigger trunk, although the one-take case does fit in this. And for size comparisons, if you care, that's a Pelican 1610. Okay. Clearing the celebrity homes up here. New tarmac at the bottom. Brakes are still holding, although the pedal's getting a little soft. Definitely didn't have to change gear there. This thing is pretty fun. I mean, it's got a lot of potential. It doesn't have quite as much grip at the front as the Fords. It's not quite as fun to drive as the Fords. You don't get the back coming out the way you do with the Fords, but you also can't get a paddle shift automatic with the Fords. And this is, for now anyway, a nicer interior to be than the Fords. The seats and the steering wheel and the shifter do give you a BMW vibe. This car is made by BMW, in case you haven't figured that out yet. And there's certainly the issues that I have with it can be fixed in the aftermarket. Wheels, tires, exhaust, things like that could liven up the experience a bit, increase the car's potential. You know, and the JCW Mini is always kind of the oddball. Maybe you don't want a Focus ST or a Fiesta ST. Maybe you want something that has a bit more of a German feel to it. But you're going to pay for that. That's expensive. The way I would spec this thing out is around $33,000. And that removes kind of all the tacky bits and leaves the performance stuff. I really wouldn't advise going with the 18-inch wheels on this. I would say the 17s are kind of the sweet spot. As we reach the end of our road here, oh, the brake pedal is quite soft now. Let me just ride this last little bit out on the gearbox so I don't have a fire at the bottom. But that's the JCW Mini. It's a neat package. It's, if you wanted something that was a little different and oh, that's brake. That's brake. Oh. No, not smoke, but brake. Yeah, I can smell that one. If you want something that's a little different, it's a neat platform. The build quality feels pretty good, but again, who knows what's going to happen in 50,000 miles. Car and Driver just eviscerated their long-term tester. Things were falling off it, and all kinds of bad stuff you wouldn't want to happen. And it's pricey. You're paying for a more luxurious version of an economy car, and that's what you get. You're paying for the materials, and yes, you're paying for the brand. But it's good fun, and more importantly, with a couple choice little alterations in the aftermarket that really wouldn't affect your warranty or anything like that, you've got a nice little package that you could do a track day or an autocross in, or go run canyons. But tires, brake pads and fluid, maybe an exhaust, but the money you save by not getting the stupid stripes and the dumb carbon stuff will cover all of that. And so thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.